I'm gonna make this snappy. These are 26 foods that I could never live without. Plain and simple, whole foods, not processed stuff. Number one, ground beef. Now this is in no particular order, but I think ground beef might actually be my number one. And what I mean by this is, these are foods that I would just be super sad if I couldn't get my hands on anymore. I guess I couldn't literally not live without them, but if I couldn't have ground beef, it would really throw a wrench in my life. I eat a lot of super lean ground beef. I think it's great because I get the gristle, I get it sort of pre-digested because I tend to inhale my food, which is not the best thing anyway. I just love this stuff. Number two, eggs. I don't think a week goes by where I don't polish off a dozen eggs. At least, probably more. And I could go on and on about the health benefits, but I think you're probably more likely to be here because you're curious what I eat and what I'm interested in versus the health benefits of a specific food. But when it comes down to the fatty acid profile with monounsaturated fats, when it comes down to the amino acid profile, when it comes down to the mineral profile with things like choline, they take the cake for me. Number three, purple sweet potatoes. Specifically the Stokes purple sweet potatoes that have the purplish skin and the purplish flesh. The more purple that a sweet potato is, the more antioxidant rich that it is. So I get the good carbohydrates that I'm looking for that are relatively lower glycemic, but I'm also getting a certain level of resistant starch and a certain level of antioxidants like anthocyanins. Number four is one that's gonna make the vegans happy too, nutritional yeast. Gram for gram, it is one of the most high protein foods on the planet. The only one that gram for gram is higher, believe it or not, is spirulina. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the highest quality protein you should ever consume. You'd have to eat a ton of it to get a bunch of it. But gram for gram, it is protein packed. But especially if you get the fortified nutritional yeast, you're loaded with a bunch of B12. And even the unfortified version is loaded with a bunch of B vitamins that are required for energy. So much so that if you have a couple tablespoons of this stuff, your urine is going to be like neon yellow. Number five is macadamia nuts. I am a huge macadamia nut guy, not just because I love the taste of them, but because of the monounsaturated fatty acid content. So it's good for those HDL levels and it's good overall just for the fatty acid profile of your body. Number six, avocados. Need I really say more? High oleic acid, high monounsaturated fats in general, high amount of fiber. Sure, there's some oxalates in them, but in general, they are dang good. Number seven, olive oil. Once again, we're coming right back to this Mediterranean style. So we've got those monounsaturated fats, we've got rich antioxidants like hydroxytyrosol, just a dang good food, whether you're cooking with it or drizzling it or straight up taking a shot of it. Number eight, some good old-fashioned blueberries. When I have the chance, wild blueberries. Just because they're gonna be richer in those anthocyanins, richer in the polyphenols that are tremendous for the gut microbiome, but the carbohydrate content in the grand scheme of things is pretty low, all things considered. Yes, there's sugar in them, but you compare it to other carbs and other fruit, still pretty dang low. This is one that if you go and buy all of these and make it so that I can't get any, I'm gonna be so irritated that I'll probably make a video. It's the yellow kiwis. I usually wipe out the stalk when I go to Sprouts. They're the kiwis, but they're the ones that are golden yellow inside. I like them because the skin is super thin to the point where you can just eat it with the skin and get the fiber along with it. But we're talking 2 to 3 times the amount of vitamin C in one of these kiwis than you would get in an orange. You're talking 250 to 300% of your daily value of vitamin C. So huge vitamin C rich food in its whole food form, but they're just unbelievably delicious. 2 big kiwis, it's 80 calories. Number 10, tuna. Now I used to be a big fan of tuna in water because it was easier to control the calories, but more recently I've really liked the Wild Planet tuna. The Wild Planet tuna that's in the really good extra virgin olive oil. I just drip the oil off so I'm not getting a bunch of calories in the oil, but I kind of check 2 boxes. I get my tuna and I get my olive oil fix. The next one, number 11, is going to be asparagus. I would just be so sad if I couldn't get asparagus. And the cool thing is asparagus, you don't even have to get organic. It's in the clean 15. So it's one of those that you don't really have to worry about spending the extra money on organic. And after this video, I put a link down below for probably one of the coolest things I've seen in the biohacking world yet, let alone used. And it is a red light therapy blanket. So you can't make fun of me for red light therapy anymore because the science is way too strong and it definitely works. And the military uses it, professional athletes use it, sports teams use it. Definitely works. The problem is you really need full body coverage. So a lot of times people end up having to go to really expensive tanning beds, sort of things that are actually red light therapy beds. And anyway, the point is that Bond Charge has a red light therapy
like blanket. It's like a sleeping bag that you get in, where they've managed to get the 660 nanometer wavelength red light into a flexible sort of diode that you can actually crawl in this thing like a sleeping bag. And it's very reasonably priced when you consider how much it costs to typically go in a red light therapy bed. Plus, that link down below gets you 25% off. So make sure you use that code that is down there by the link for Bond Charge for 25% off any of their products, but specifically in this case, their red light therapy blanket, which is more like a sleeping bag.
Number 12 is Flax Seeds. I'm a big fan of flax crackers. There's a company called Flackers. No sponsorship, nothing like that. Just a cool company that has like flax seeds along with apple cider vinegar pretty much compressed into a cracker. Like super, super easy. People worry about the estrogen content. I'm telling you, I've done the research, I've done videos on this. I'll spare that for another day. It's not a concern if you're not going completely overboard. The next one is Ghee. Personally, I like the company called Fourth and Heart. I think Fourth and Heart does a really good job. They've got like turmeric ghee, they've got vanilla ghee, all kinds of weird flavors. Again, you can get them through Thrive, which is kind of cool, or you can get them at the grocery store. Now I know ghee's not the cheapest thing, but you only need a tiny, tiny bit. And it's so high in butyrate, it's tremendous when it comes down to the gut, specifically the cells that line your gut. Number 14, good old Honeycrisp Apples. You know what's funny? I had Max Ligavere on the channel not that long ago, and we were talking about this. You know, like, a couple tablespoons of almond butter is the equivalent of like 5 Honeycrisp apples. Any day of the week, I would take those 5 Honeycrisp apples because they are so filling and delicious. I love almond butter too, but like, man, Honeycrisp apples, something about it. Just make sure you get the organic ones. The skin's a little bit thinner and you get that pectin and that fiber. Number 15 is sort of a food, but kind of a supplement, and that's whey protein. I just don't know if I'd be really happy if I didn't have whey protein in my life. Like the amount that I train, the amount that I push my body, I need supplemental protein. And like a lot of people do. And although I could live without it, like it does make my life easier. And I'm talking clean, unflavored stuff. Or if I do go for the stuff that has a little bit of flavor, I go for a company called Bomar Nutrition because they have ones that are sweetened with stevia and they don't have the artificial garbage in them. Next up is Greek yogurt, ranging from fat-free 2% all the way up to the 5% whole stuff. I have it all. I just always make sure it's unsweetened. And the next one in the same category is cottage cheese. Not just any cottage cheese though. I usually opt for the Good Culture cottage cheese. And again, this is not a sponsorship. No like fiduciary responsibility to say this. I just think once you've had that Good Culture cottage cheese, like that full heavy cream one, oh gosh, like other cottage cheese tastes like sour milk. It just doesn't even stand up. Number 18, dark chocolate. Now, I will allow myself to go down to an 85% dark chocolate, which has still got a fair bit of sugar in it, but most of the time I'm going for a 95% or even a 100% dark chocolate. I like the stuff, and I know there's concern about the heavy metals, but I'm not eating tons of this stuff. I'm eating maybe a half an ounce every other day these days. Number 19, Brussels sprouts. One of the most dense cruciferous vegetables that you can get. So as far as IC3, as far as DIM is concerned, you're getting a huge benefit there. As far as sulforaphane, which has benefits with glutathione and sort of the natural ability to detoxify, so to speak, well, you're not gonna find a much better vegetable. And they taste delicious with some balsamic, they taste delicious with regular vinegar, they taste delicious with honey mustard, wherever you wanna put on them. Number 20 is more of a condiment, and it's a specific one. It's the Primal Kitchen Unsweetened Ketchup. I don't know what I'd do without this stuff. I love ketchup, but I don't like high fructose corn syrup. I don't like sugar. I don't like additives. And Primal Kitchen just has that unsweetened ketchup that just tastes delicious on everything. Number 21 is a double whammy. Raw milk and raw cheese. I put them together. I love raw milk. For years, I stayed away from milk. I thought milk was bad for a while. But I think in small amounts, especially with raw milk, it's perfectly fine. Especially when you look at the literature suggesting that it might have immunological benefits. And raw cheese just tastes dang good. Number 22, beets. They're delicious. I love the nitric oxide effect, the vasodilation effect I get from eating some, especially if you have straight up beet juice. They're a relatively benign carb. They're rich in antioxidants and they're perfect with anything. So I mix up like sweet potatoes and beets, maybe some parsnips, along with some ground beef. It's a perfect little bowl. Number 23, if you know me, you know I like to eat watermelon when I work out. I'm a weirdo, that's what I do. So watermelon is a perfect intra-workout carbohydrate for me. If I am gonna have carbs while I work out, it's gonna be watermelon, simply because it's easy to digest, the water content, and it's not as dense in carbohydrates as you might think. It's sweet, but it's so voluptuous and has so much water, it takes a lot to really get that spike up high. Number 24 is ground chicken. I used to be a ground turkey guy. Now ground turkey is disgusting to me. Ground chicken's where it is at, but don't buy it all up. Or actually, maybe you do. Maybe the more you buy, the more they'll put on the shelves. I don't know. But I get really, really irritated when I go to the store and they're out of ground chicken, because ground chicken and ground beef are like a person that it is in a hurry, it's like a staple for them. And for me, I'm always kind of in a hurry with my kids. I hardly ever cook up a regular chicken breast or a regular steak anymore. It's almost always ground meats to a certain degree. Number 25 is deli meat, but not regular deli meat, like good quality deli meat that doesn't have the preservatives, doesn't have the phosphates, doesn't have the nitrates, ones that are just like meat and salt. That Dietz and Watson brand that's at Costco is totally awesome. Distel has a really good one as well. Boar's Head has some that are natural that don't have the yucky stuff in it. And then Applegate Farms is some really good one as well. And then the last thing that's on my list, I gotta be real, I would be really sad if I couldn't get ice cream anymore. I mean, specifically, I do have Halo Top. I don't really have fully leaded ice cream too often. So I do whatever I want with Halo Top, and sure, there's erythritol, which is gonna make me clot and whatever, but either way, it's worth it. I enjoy ice cream, so whatever, sue me. See you tomorrow.